This is the day that I heard about to Melania being, you know, the bitch of the West Wing. that's how Brent Spiner titled his email message to me about Melania. Just look how low those clouds are. Those don't look. Those are sort of bomb clouds. They're too low to be normal clouds. Look how low that is. This must be Melania and maybe Loree McBride. Maybe they're working together. I don't know. Melania is just like Loree. Look at that. Here is this is the eastern sky over the Atlantic Ocean, and those clouds are very suspicious looking. And then look how low-lying those clouds are. And these clouds up here are very suspicious looking. And then here we go towards the northwestern sky. That's around, like, towards the Orlando area. Look at that. Looks like Melania is using the U.S. Air Force to drop bombs. These people all need the death penalty. I mean, those are very suspicious looking. Look at this. Wow. Just like, here we go from northwest, northeast, east. Very suspicious looking. Low-lying clouds. They've come up with a technology. She tries to get the germ clouds as low to the ground as possible to make sure that people on the ground get maximum contamination. It's very evil. Very, very evil. These people deserve the death penalty for doing this. This is biological warfare. Take a look at this. See how you got these clouds that are close to the ground, then you have a different set of clouds above it. So it's like we've got two types of clouds here. We've got these that are low to the ground, so low you can almost touch them, and then clouds above them that look totally different. They don't even look like clouds. They look like a explosion. Explosion would be the best way to describe it. This is an explosion. Whoever's behind these, they get the death penalty. We don't need bombs being dropped over us, okay? Dropping bombs over civilian populations is death penalty. I mean, and if they're trying to target me, that's death penalty, because I certainly don't deserve this. Loree McBride is a very jealous, raging woman, and so are all her followers. She attracts people that are filled with rage, greed, and envy. And that's their motive for just about everything they do. People like that don't deserve to live because they're willing to murder to carry out their rage, greed, and envy. Look how low those clouds are. They're like right at the height of the trees. See, those are suspicious clouds. They were deliberately designed to be low-lying. I don't know what kind of technology Loree McBride has, and it looks like she's working with the U.S. Air Force under the direction of Melania Trump, who deserves the death penalty. So, okay. Look, there's people behind me. I'm being trailed. This is the southwestern sky, and notice that pink hue there. See how pink that is? They're dropping bombs everywhere. U.S. Air Force under Melania Trump, under Loree McBride, they may be working together. Definitely suspicious looking clouds. And I have written new conspiracy law because YouTube is going to take down one of my videos, and all it does is tell the truth about the Jesuits. And I was very polite, and I wasn't threatening or violent, but they may consider it violent to have law that makes it death penalty to be a Loree McBride Jesuit. That would be like saying that if we execute murderers, then we are harassing people. She's a killer. She's a war criminal. So we're not allowed to write law that executes war criminals, or else we will have our videos taken down. And so what I did is I wrote law. Look at these bomb clouds. Those are not normal looking clouds. I wrote law stating that it is harassment to take a truth teller down just because they're exposing government crimes, or exposing the the works of a foreign enemy agent. And that foreign enemy agent is not Russia, it's more likely to be, anyways, you are, contact my men at gailsmen@yahoo.com or gailcourtschuler@gmail.com if you feel you have been censored or demonetized. And I wrote some new law today to deal with that. We are going to take over the social media giants and the tech giants that have been doing this censorship, and they're going to be fully regulated. So I wrote new law, and if you feel that you are a victim of this, contact my men and we will investigate and make sure that justice is done. Boy, that's spooky looking. Like the edges of a bomb. Huge Nukaki, look at that. It's a bomb. Any presentation must be allowed on a social media platform that promotes the truth and does so in a manner that does not promote the lies, harassment, and defamation by Loree McBride Jesuits. Harassment is defined as willing and knowing rioting, threats, physical violence, extortion, or intimidation, including legal intimidation or censorship, used to try and force somebody to adopt your religion, most especially if your religion promotes intolerance against those not in that religion, such as the Loree McBride Jesuit order, a deadly, very intolerant religion. For more on this, refer to Section 14 of International Marriage Laws at gabrielchana.blog/2018/05/06/International Marriage Laws. A religion is defined as any ideology that details how one must live and act and can refer to humanism, Islam, New Age teachings, Buddhism, Christianity, Roman Catholicism, Hinduism, atheism, Judaism, etc. Nobody can be forced or extorted to adopt any religion or be threatened or demeaned or demonetized or censored for exposing the weaknesses of any religion by using riots, threats, physical violence, murder, censorship, defunding, demonetization, extortion, or intimidation. All social media and tech giants, those that receive at least $500,000 US or the equivalent in payments from any source or sources, are required to honor this Section 13.3 or they will be investigated. And what's on this particular page is Section 13.3. Or they will be investigated as an enemy foreign government organization, and if found guilty as outlined in Section 13.2, must be taken over by Empress Gail's government and forced to stop all forms of harassment as outlined in this Section 13.3. The 13.3 is what's on this page that you see right in front of you. It's taken from my international military law. All guidelines created by any social media organization or tech giant must conform to this Section 13.3, or that media organization will be investigated as possibly in violation of this Section 13. I'll have a link underneath this video for a page where you can read the law, the entire law. Any guidelines created that are too vague so that the outcome can be determined by the subjective whims of the organization rather than on objective criteria must be rewritten or annulled to be in conformity to this Section 13.3. That's this page you see right in front of you. Now let's go to the next page. All those who feel that they have been harassed as defined by the previous page or Section 13.3 are encouraged to submit their complaint to Gail's men at gailsmen@yahoo.com or gailcourtschuler@gmail.com. Gail's government will then examine the complaint and see whether that social media giant or tech giant must be investigated as a possible foreign enemy government organization. And if so, it must be taken over by Empress Gail's government. Once Empress Gail's government takes over a foreign enemy government organization, it can never be considered a private organization ever again, and loses its privilege of calling itself a private organization. It is now a government organization and must honor conspiracy law in all it does. Once it becomes a government organization, it will be partially funded by the government and will also receive funding from private sources approved of by the government. In fact, it can no longer receive any funding except those sources approved of by the government. And to ensure this happens, a monthly audit must be made of the newly formed government social media giant or tech giant to ensure that no illegal funding takes place. Illegal funding would be funds from Loree McBride Jesuit supporters or from organizations guilty of harassment as defined by Section 13.3 or the previous page. Loree McBride Jesuits are considered terrorists, and all their funds must be confiscated and turned over to Empress Gail's government because these are Nazi terrorist operations and must be totally defunded. So if you feel you have been harassed or censored unfairly, and I outlined what that is on the previous page, please contact my men. We will investigate the social media platform that has done this to you and take appropriate measures.